Today, I thought I'd answer a question that often comes up when the subject of learning tunes is being discussed. You know, like, how do you go about learning jazz tunes? We're going to talk about that in a minute. But first, if you haven't signed up for my 2-year bass mastery course, make sure to click on the link in the description box below and sign up soon, as I'm currently running a discounted price on that course, where you can either sign up for the whole 2-year course, you can do the 2-year course in 3 monthly payments, or you can get a lifetime membership while they last. So when the topic of learning jazz tunes comes up, the most important phase is actually learning what the chord changes are. Now, that might seem a little obvious, and I can hear everyone out there saying that they already think they know what the chord changes are. But what I'm talking about is on a deeper level. It's about ingraining the chord changes into your mind so that you know them fluently while you're in the heat of the improvisation. You see, when you're improvising, you need to know the next chord before it comes up. This concept is largely misunderstood, and because of this, while in the heat of the moment, many are left far behind the curve. There's a concept called anticipation, where you would play into the next chord before it actually occurs. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later, but first, since we're talking about learning jazz tunes, we're going to want to start with the blues. So what we need is a drill to get the sound of the blues into our heads so that when it comes time to improvise over the changes, we'll not only know the chords, but we'll also learn how to hear the blues form and have that lodged in our muscle memory. Remember, the 5 stages of learning are learn, practice, absorb, functionalize, and then maintain. What we're doing by working this drill is learning how to functionalize the chord changes of the blues. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate this drill, and then I'll be back for the complete debrief. So stay with me. Now we're going to start off by breaking down the formula for this particular drill, looking at it in 2 parts where we have a succession of chord tones followed by a chromatic approach combination that's going to take us into each new successive chord. And what you want to really check out is the way that these chromatic approach combos are coming in the bar before the downbeat of the new chords. Okay, and we're not analyzing those chromatic approach combos to the chord that we were playing. We're analyzing them to where we're going to. This is the whole concept of anticipation. It's very important to understand this. So we start off by going root 3, 5, flat 7 over the F7. That's the first bar. Then in bar 2, I'm going into B flat. So on beat 4 of the first bar, I'm going to play the double chromatic above the root of the B flat. And then I go B flat, D, F, A flat, or root 3, 5, flat 7 of the B flat 7. Then I'm going back to the F7, double chromatic above. And then in the 4th bar, we've got a C minor 7 going to F7, but they're worth 2 beats each. So in order to get the chord tones and the double chromatics worked into that bar, we need to have the number of chord tones that we're playing. So we play the root and the flat 3 of the C minor, then the double chromatic above the F, and then go the root, the 3 of the F7, and then the double chromatic above the B flat 7. Now when we hit that 4-7 chord, what we're doing is pretty much the same thing. I'm playing the root, the 3, the 5, and the flat 7, except I'm displacing the root an octave above. Then I'm going to the B diminished 7, which we can really just look at as a B flat 7 with a flat 9. It's much easier to actually look at that B diminished 7 as just an altered B flat 7 chord. So I'm going double chromatic above the flat 9. So we're kind of replacing or subbing the root with the flat 9. And then I've got the 3, 5, and then I've got the flat 7. And that works out really well. So you can really hear that straight dominant going to that altered dominant. And then the next bar, we're going back into the F7. But in this bar, I've changed the line a little bit. So we go double chromatic above, and then I go root, 3, 5, flat 7. So notice the octave displacement there. And then I go down to 13, and then root, and then I go to double chromatic above the root of the D7. The D7 is going to be the secondary dominant or the 5-7 of 2. This is going to take us back to 2 minor in the last 4 bars of the blues. So from here, I'm going root 3, 5, flat 7, and then the double chromatic above the root of the G minor 7. In the last 4 bars, we're starting off with that G minor 7. So I'm coming in from that double chromatic above the root, flat 3, 5, flat 7. Then double chromatic above the root, 3, 5, flat 7 of the C7, which is in the next bar. And then I'm going to the last 2 bars. In the last 2 bars, we've got an F7 going down to a D7, to a G minor 7, going to a C7. So it's all 2 beats per chord. So when I do that, I go double chromatic above the root, 3rd of the F7, double chromatic above the root, 3rd of the D7, double chromatic above the root, and then go into the flat 3 of the G minor 7, and then double chromatic above the root, and then the 3rd of the C7, and then double chromatic back to the 1 chord at the top of the form. So real slow, I'm going to go ahead and play through all the changes. Okay, time for you to go try it. As you can see, we've put the chord tones before and then the chromatic approach notes after. Of course, we're just scraping the surface of this because I'm only targeting the roots of each chord here. But even with that said, after you start practicing this drill in every key, you're going to definitely start learning the sound of the blues, and this will serve as a real functional backdrop for you to start improvising over. These are all the things that I cover extensively in my beginner, intermediate, and also my advanced courses. So just click over here for more information about all those courses. Until next time, practice smart, work hard, and play creatively.